Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and in this video, we'll be reviewing the Rome Crux. I rode this binding in the spring on my Endeavor archetype on what can best be described as a hot pow day. There was like 4 to 6 inches of snow. It was a little bit warmer. There were some overcast skies, and I rode it with my K2 Thraxis boots. Overall, this is a pretty basic binding. You got flip cams for strap adjustment. You got the push down placements if you need it for the toe strap. You can adjust the high back rotation and the forward lean and the toe ramp, and that's pretty much it with this thing. So the heel strap is pretty minimalistic. It's that hard plastic that contours around your boot. Basically all the padding comes from your boot. This is just going to cradle you in. The toe strap has a wide cutout in it to fit various boot shape sizes. Mine were a little more pointy. I didn't have the best grip in there. I think more of a snub-nosed, wider boot, it would fit. But then again, the tray on this binding is a bit wider. You know, the straps, they did their job. They're not the best, they're not the worst. The ratchets, for the most part, were pretty flawless. I had them catch one time, that was it. They were like kind of jammed up with some hot pow. Other than that, they climbed well, they locked in well, they released fairly well. I do like the fact that they're both one finger quick release instead of being that counterintuitive one finger release on the heel and push down on the toe. The high backs are about as basic as they come. There's not a lot of padding on them. There's a lot of flex to them. They're very minimalistic. You can adjust the forward lean on it. Overall, it's a high back. It does high back things. It's not the stiffest. It's not the softest. It's somewhere in the middle. The overall flex on this binding is about a middle of the road. You'll notice a little bit more lateral flex just with the way that heel cup shaping is on there. It's kind of just an all mountain binding. It's not the stiffest, it's not the softest. It's there. It just doesn't stick out to me as being anything majestical, if you will. The overall ride of this binding is mildly damp. I mean, it's not like completely dead. It's not completely lively. It's just mildly damp, so it absorbs a little bit of chatter. There is some power derived on the outside just with the way that heel cup shaping is, but by and large, it's a binding. It gets the job done. That's it. Who's this binding for? The part guy that's going to venture out on the mountain. That's kind of just who I would recommend it for. So the one thing I'm going to note is this binding has one of the biggest base trays I've seen in a while. Like, I mean, it's fucking wide. If you have a bulkier boot, like a 32, yeah, here you go. But if you have a narrower boot, probably not going to be the best. I mean, overall, it's a binding. It gets the job done. It didn't stick out to me as being great. It didn't completely suck. It was just a binding that got the job done. I think there's better bindings out there. And, you know, this one just sort of falls into that, meh, it's a binding. If you need it and it's cheap or whatever, it's in your price range and it's there, it'll get, you know, you'll be fine with it. You're not going to die. This has been my review of the Rome Crux. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own a pair? Are you going to buy a set? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this binding. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we've got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really want to support us and you want to see us just do some bigger things that we're working on, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a whole video over there that explains it to you. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.